Yeah, so today we're going to look at how to target sponsored jobs in the United Kingdom. And for this information session, I and Uchechi we will be taking it. So background to this session. So we just wanted to see how we could support um, people both in United Kingdom or people outside of UK to see how people can begin to target these sponsored opportunities. So I came in here on study visa with my family, and that was in October 2021. And when I got here, everyone was telling me that it's not very easy to get the sponsored jobs, but the care route is the route to take. And I had a lot of experience back home working in various industries, and also in banking as a business development manager. So I wasn't deterred, okay? I know so many of us that are here could have heard some of those things. But when I rounded up, I was able to secure not only a sponsored visa, but I got a global talent visa. And all this happened, to us within 1 year and 6 months of coming into the UK. So we're going to be sharing our story and also show us some of the places and ways that we could target some of these things. Now, the goal of this session is to get more of us into high-paying professional roles, especially if you have experience back home. And also, we're going to be sharing our story, our testimonial, and show us how we can be more strategic with job applications and share our job hunting strategy. So, a bit about me. Like I said before, I came here for study, for master's, and I did that in the University of Chester. I read international business management. I have over a decade of experience in business development. And after my program, I was able to get a job in the university here in the UK, and I got a global talent visa after that. So my story, well, I've already summarized this story. So what happened was in April 2023, I got a job with a university here in the UK, and I was going to be sponsored. A tier 2 sponsorship was going to come with that job. Now, the nature of my job was a project. It was funded by UKRI. And because the nature of that job qualified me to get a global talent, and some of which was that it was the funding for that project was to the tune of £30,000. And the tenure of my project was 2 years and above, and some other factors. That was why I didn't bother with the tier 2 sponsorship, and I decided to pursue the global talent. So for me and my family, on the visa that we have now, we just have about 3 years and we'll be moving over to the ILR. So that's the beauty of the global talent visa. But this presentation is not so much about the global talent visa. It's just for us to see that if you have professional experience, whether you're in the UK or even outside the UK, there are opportunities that you could target to get the sponsored roles. So there are several ways to get UK sponsored jobs. I'm hearing some sound at the background. Is it possible that we can mute our mics? Yeah. So there are several ways you can get UK sponsored jobs. One of the ways is through NHS. If you're in the UK, of course, you would have been hearing about NHS. But we realized that, not too many people are looking that way because everybody is just going to care because it's so easy to get those visas in care. But if you have experience, if you go on the NHS portal, you'll be able to see that there are opportunities there for you that you can target. Another place that you can look at for UK sponsored jobs are civil service jobs. My husband got one recently, and he will be sharing his story as we move along. Also, the big fours will give you the sponsorships. I know a lot of friends of mine who have gotten these jobs even after their master's program here. And I have a very close friend of mine and a former colleague who got those jobs from Nigeria. She got hired by KPMG. She didn't even need to come here for study, and she moved with her family. So what I'm saying is that some of these jobs, you can even get them if you are residing in Nigeria and if you are targeting these roles. And of course, the care sector, we already know that we can get sponsored jobs there. The universities are places you can also target if you're looking for sponsorship. Not all the roles will give you sponsorship, but some would. And also the KTP roles, which I'll be talking to us about in a bit. Yeah, so because this was how I got mine, I would like to discuss a bit more about the knowledge transfer jobs. And I also realized that not so many people are familiar with these jobs and these opportunities because most of the jobs on the KTP will qualify you for tier two visas. So for me, the role I got is in academia and research, and that's why I'm attached to the university. So what is KTP? In case you've not heard about KTP, KTP means knowledge transfer partnership. So what happens is in the charts for us to look at some of the opportunities there. So it's a three-way collaboration between the staff. For instance, I that I'm hired, I'm referred to as the associate, the university, and the university hires me to work on a project with a company. So the way it works, you're going to interact with both the university and also the company partner in that job. So that's how it works. So that's the structure of that job. So it's not like the regular job where you're just with the university and maybe you have a task to do with the university and you just report to the university all the time. The university hires you but deploys you to work with the company. And another thing that we need to note here is that a KTP associate can be hired from any location. So you don't even have to be residing in the United Kingdom to get hired. I have met people in the course of my work, people that have been hired from Pakistan, Indians, a lot of Indians, and some Nigerians, but most of the Nigerians that I have seen are people that were hired from United Kingdom. But recently, my university told me about a Nigerian who was hired from Nigeria. In fact, he is currently on a project in an organization in Nigeria. So I'm just trying to let you understand the possibilities of this jobs and these opportunities, so that we're not limited by our location. And some roles and opportunities in KTP. So here are some of the roles that I have seen over time that people get hired for. Like I explained, my experience is in business development, so you will definitely find business development roles there. Sales and marketing roles. If you have experience in project management, you have a place there. A lot of IT roles, engineering management, engineering. I've also seen roles in human resources and also in a lot of pharmaceutic roles, software engineering or business information technology, because a lot of IT, there are a lot of IT roles. So if you have read information technology, business information technology, anything software engineering, data science, bioengineering, digital business, you have a place in this role. So, but the thing is, you just need to keep checking because you may not find all these opportunities at the same time. So you just have to keep checking from time to time. Now, where do you find these jobs? I hope our slide is still moving. Are we still able to see the slide and where I am now?
Yes, it's moving.
Okay. So where do you find this job? So when you go on Google, just type KTP associate jobs and look out for these jobs. Look at your experience and see which of them that you are more aligned with. So I would also drop this link for us to look at. So yeah, so I did some Google search just yesterday, and I saw a lot of roles there. Currently, there is a data scientist role. There is a role for a sales and marketing manager that is still open. There is one for digital transformation analyst, something for behavioral science researcher, software engineer, and there are a whole lot of other roles. So you just need to look at it and look at your experience. Then something I didn't mention, yes. So these KTP jobs usually require you to have minimum of a master's degree. So if you have a BSc, there will be very few opportunities for you. But if you have a master's degree and if you have a PhD, your chances are higher for most of these roles. Yeah, so when you do your Google search, you will find them. So I'm going to hand over to Uchechi now to take over from where I stopped so that he can run through the rest of the presentation. But in the meantime, if you have any questions or anything you want to ask, feel free to drop your questions in the chat section and we'll pick it up after the presentation. So, Uche, do you want to continue?
Thank you very much for that presentation. And just like you said, my name is Uchechi Mwigwe, and I am the dependent, to Chioma. My own story, just like she said, we came here to the UK in 2021, and she was schooling and I was the dependent. And of course, at the initial stage, you get to do some what we call survival jobs. But by being a lot more strategic, I was able to get a role as the product owner in one of the big financial institutions, one of the big banks in the UK, where I worked for 12 months. And one inspiration, one thing that inspired us to start, speaking up concerning this is that one of the sessions I went for, it was a planning session we went to in Manchester, and I looked around. I was the only, it's a Black person in that room of over 200 people. The other Black person was the hotel waiter that was serving food. And we saw kind of a noticeable absence of our people. And what's the reason? Because most people, when we come in here, we are told to just jump into taking care jobs and all those roles, which, of course, there's dignity of labor, and they're good in themselves. But what we're trying to say is that there are other opportunities that people can take advantage of. And especially if you have experience from back home. My experience, I have over a decade experience working as a product manager within different banks in Nigeria before I came to the UK. And so if you have this sort of experience, you've worked in a corporate sector, you've even worked, as in startup or as a business development person or a founder, there are roles you can look up to. So at the end of my 12-month contract with the bank, it wasn't renewed. So I got back into the market and started searching again. And once again, I and my wife, we applied our job hunting strategy of being strategic, targeting, the sponsored jobs. And I recently got a job with the civil service as a product manager as well. So Since we have, repeated this process and we've seen that they are working, and we're, coming out to share with everyone. So the next slide. So just like she mentioned, our goal is to get more of us into these high-paying professional roles that will make us more relevant. And some of the things you do is to become more strategic with your job application. Some people, just apply everywhere, but in the course of our application, we've seen that some places are more will give you more results, right? And some of them include, if you target KTP roles. KTP roles are more specific. When you get these roles, if you have the qualification, you would, for most of them, you'd be able to get to sponsorship and even get global talent visa. And the global talent visa, if you know about global talent, there's global talent that is the tech route, which is currently, I'm not sure if it has ended, done by what's the company, the organization? Do you remember the organization that manages?
Technician. But I don't think Technician is the one
Yeah,
handling it anymore.
Technician used to do it before it was now moved to, I think, Barclays, right? So that's where most people are on. And to apply for that, because I did apply for it and I didn't get, there's a lot of writing, a lot of documents you have to provide. So, and there's a whole lot of crowd and attention on that side. But if you get into a research role, which is the endorsed funders route, which you mentioned, which KTP, most KTP roles are under, you will be on a fast track role and you are not providing anything. All you need to provide is letters from your employers that, your project you're working on met a particular amount, threshold of funding, then, there's some documentation on your recruitment with the organization. And was it less than 2 weeks or 1 week or so? You get your endorsement.
It was in 7 days I got the endorsement.
Yes.
Then we now went for the second stage, that's the visa application. That was about 3 weeks.
Yes, so you get your endorsement from UKRI, which you'd use now to apply for your UK Global Talent Visa, which is really, really something that, we should look at and explore. The other place that we can look at is NHS. NHS is massively recruiting. And if you look at NHS, some people, when they hear NHS, they think it's just health jobs, and you don't have to be a doctor or dentist or any of the medical areas. NHS has almost roles for everybody. Those are software developers. There's the NHS roles that you could apply to. People like us, product owners, product managers, even different business development and all that. I could share my screen. Let me see if I can quickly share my screen so you see one of the things I'm talking about. Let me know if you can see my screen.
Yeah, yes, I can.
Yes, so this is the NHS website. If you can see, here you can go to search jobs, go to search, and you can type any job. Let me click on search and see if it will fetch anything. Yeah, so these are paramedics, clinical stuff, pediatrician. But let me look for tech.
Manager or something.
Let me look for what I usually search. I'll search for something around product. I see product manager. You can see principal product manager. You see senior product specialist. Let me look for developer or software. Senior software developer, data developer, so you see opportunities, business analyst, clinical administrator. These are roles. let me go to tech. So you've got this, he's prescribing lead tech and all that. So within the NHS, there are different roles you can apply to. For one of the very popular roles is project. If you have experience in project management, there are certainly many roles. There's project coordinator, there's project manager, there's so many project manager roles because within the NHS, there are different projects, happening in base. And most of these roles have sponsorship. So back to the slide. Okay, before I leave the slide, another place you can target, but before I wrap up on NHS, for NHS, I have seen instances where people were recruited, especially people in tech from outside the country. I've had an instance where a software developer was recruited from Nigeria. So if you're from Nigeria, if you're in Nigeria, this is one of the places we want you to sit down and start applying. In this conversation, we're not talking about the things you need to do. Maybe I'll just mention that to make sure that you qualify to apply for this, your resume and your supporting statements and all that. But this is one place you need to, sleep and apply for as many job roles that you can find that fit your skills. Another place is the civil service. Yeah, let me open the civil service jobs. For civil service particularly, those of us in the UK who are looking to land sponsored jobs, civil service is one place I would advise you to, look at. And the reason is that it's civil service. It's not like the private companies. The recruitment process is not very complex. It's straightforward. There's just one interview. And practically, they tell you what they want to ask you. So all you have to do is go prepare yourself for those things when you're called for an interview. And here within the civil service, let me start with my usual role, search products. You would definitely see lots of product manager, National Crime Agency, senior product manager, there's product manager of GEM, there's associate product manager. Yeah, so products, lots of things within that space. Lots of stuff within that space. Yeah, if you let's say you did data analytics, let's look at data. Yeah, we have data engineer. I was looking for data analysts to see if they're data scientist, chief data officer. You can see data analyst, senior data analyst. Yeah, so these roles, there are just so many roles. There's data analyst, Power Platform for Met Office. You just have lots of things if you are in the business analyst space. Yeah, so there are lots of business analyst roles, lots of them of GEM, DWP, So this is another place you can focus on for sponsored roles. Another place you could look at is DWP jobs. So it's a bit different. So DWP is it this exactly? Just a minute. DWP digital. Let me confirm. Not this exactly. This is not what I was looking for. There's let me fetch something. And get the website I was talking about. Just a minute. This is my new job. Okay. Yeah, that's a here. That's a here. So this is DWP. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
sure. So we can.
Yeah. So I could search with data analyst. So here are jobs, a lot of them that you can apply to. So these are from our research, some of the locations. I'll stop sharing now so you can share the presentation again. So these are some of the sites where you can target jobs if you're looking for sponsorship job opportunities. Excuse me. Yeah, so I mentioned the NHS jobs. I've shared civil service jobs. I mentioned DWP. Then she also mentioned KTP, and these are the places you could go to see them. So our experience, why are we sharing this? From our experience, we've done it, and not just doing it once, we've done it twice. If we were able to do it, you can do it, so long as you have the same experience. And how did we do this then? We applied our job hunting strategy, which we have mastered over time. And, you know, one of the reasons we had to have this call is that in the course of interacting with people and people asking us different questions, we've seen that even some things as basic that some people should know, like having the right CV or having, a professional CV. Some people haven't, many people that we encountered, surprisingly, their CVs were not up to speed or up to standard. We saw people who still had their date of birth in their CVs that they were applying with. Some had their primary school, secondary school in their CVs, and a lot of things that would naturally, typically, make you ineligible. So people keep applying and they don't get the interview call-ups. When people apply, you don't understand. First of all, is your CV in the right format, in the right UK format? When you apply for jobs, do you look at the keywords for those job roles? Because if they push it through a system, the ATS system, it's kind of looks out for keywords for those job competencies for those jobs within your CV in order to pick you for second level consideration. So if you are applying to those jobs and you don't have all those information, you don't prepare yourself to that point, you're just in other words wasting your time. So why we started sharing this is that we have done it and we are willing to support those who would like to receive our support from it. So go to the next slide. So at this stage, we want to talk about our career coaching service. We decided to, make our time for those who are willing to support them through their journey. For those who first have the right qualifications, we've mentioned, if you're targeting like KTP roles, you have at least a master's or a PhD, or you have considerable experience from our home country, Nigeria, for example, and you want to pick our brain, we can support you. We've shared these things. You can actually do them by yourself. So it's not rocket science. You can actually do them by yourself. Go in, identify those jobs, target them, build your job application strategy and work with it. But if you think that you need more support, you want to shorten your learning curve, you want to learn from our experience, from what we've done already, we have this coaching service. It's proven success because we've done it for ourselves, and we're also currently supporting some other people. You benefit from our field tested strategies, that secured us high-paying jobs with tier 2 sponsorship. And we would have a coaching plan for you. We will do 3 hourly sessions with you, where we do things like reviewing your CV to make sure it's up to speed. We teach you how to tailor your CV to every job application you're doing. You don't just have one set of CV and you use it to apply for every job. You have to learn how to tailor your CV to every job application. If you have if you doing a job application that requires writing a cover letter, how to tailor your experience to the job application for that particular role. If you are targeting NHS, in NHS, there's something that discourages many people, the supporting statements and different questions that they will have to ask. I have one of the clients I had, he said whenever he gets to that point, he gets discouraged and he will leave. So, but when he signed up for our coaching session, we showed him how he could actually do that in less than 5 minutes and complete all that, write as many words. If they want 750 words, you put that. For civil service, you have to write something up to 750 words. So you write that to show how your experience and competencies directly match the desired and essential criteria for those job roles. So, of course, all this will happen over Zoom, and it's coming at a very affordable rate of £150. Yeah, so okay, Choma, do you want to say anything about this offer you are providing?
Okay, yeah, so if I think we should, okay, let me go to this. Yeah, so just like he said, why this is, like, we've shared everything with you. You can actually do this by yourself. We were able to get this done, and we've repeated the process. In fact, we've repeated the process so much that I have 3 jobs that I just had to choose one. I have a second job. I'm doing the what do you call it, the documentation, but I know I'm not going to do that job. I have 3 jobs in my hands through this proven formula, and it's working. And I had another one that, in fact, by the time I was done with my application and I saw their feedback on the interview, I was telling my husband that the way these people wrote me and told me the questions that they were going to ask me in the interview, meaning that they really wanted me to do that job. But at that time, I had already signed up for the job I'm currently doing. So I just nicely wrote them that I'm really sorry. I have just decided on a job and I don't think I'll be attending this interview. So this formula works. Yeah, but you can actually do it on your own. But if you want to shorten the learning curve, we're offering this coaching session. If you're able to sign up between now and the 1st of January, you can get it at a discounted rate of £130, and you have an option to pay in 2 installments. And yeah, so but why do we think that you can work with us? Because we've done it for ourselves, we've done it for other people, we're currently doing it for some other people. And besides that, we would help you to show you opportunities as they're coming. Like the guys that I'm currently working with, I'm talking to them about opportunities that, how they can structure themselves to take advantage of those opportunities. because the particular guy I'm actually working with had been applying for KTP jobs on his own. But by the time I looked at his application, I saw where he was missing it. I saw firstly that his CV was not okay. And I told him, this CV you've been working with is never ever going to get you any of these jobs. Secondly, I saw that he wasn't even positioned properly for the opportunities. Not only that his CV was not good enough, he wasn't applying to the right kind of jobs to match his experience. So these are things that we would help you to see. And of course, that's saving on your time. And also cost savings. A lot of people are paying so much to buy care visa where they tie up their lives for the next 5 years. A lot of people who have experience. I know some of my classmates who are daily harassing my line. They signed up for care visas. I graduated with them in masters. They went and took these opportunities, but right now they are so unhappy in those jobs and they paid so much for these visas. And now they're trying to find a way out. So you're saving money on those care visas you would have paid for just a token to shorten your learning curve to get you the sponsored jobs in the kind of jobs that you're comfortable with or that you already have experience doing. Yeah, you don't have to trade your professional experience for those care roles. Then we'll show you our proven formula. For us, we were able to do this for ourselves within the first year. Okay, for me, I spent my 1 year studying. So immediately after I rounded up my study, 4 months or thereabout, I was able to get my job that got me the global talent visa. So now think about the length of time it took us to get there. So with the knowledge we have, you're going to be able to shorten all that for yourself. So yeah, so
I
if
just wanted
you're
to remind you that you remember you got a care tier 2 offer.
the care.
Yeah, when you graduated and
Yes, now because just like every other person, we were we were under that pressure to take the care. But after seriously considering it, I didn't want to trade my professional experience. Not that there's anything wrong with the care jobs. Please don't get me wrong. There is absolutely nothing wrong with it. But I know some people who have taken those offers simply because they were scared. They didn't know that they would be able to get themselves sponsored jobs. So the reason we're saying this is that these jobs are possible. You can actually get them, if you are patient enough, if you can apply, you know, certain formulas and approach to it, you would definitely get them. So that's what I can say at this point. So
yeah.
if anyone is interested, you can, I will drop the link if you would want to talk to us more about this, or you can contact my email. Yeah. I don't know if people have questions because it's been so quiet in
Yeah.
here. I've not seen any questions
So the floor is open for
from
questions.
anyone.
If you have any question, any clarification you seek, this is the time now.
Yeah.
So the
I just
floor
want
is
to appreciate two of you for this amazing update. Thank you. Thank you so much. I can attest to your testimonies myself about having the right CV tailored to the job that you are applying for. So yeah, it's very, very important that okay, I came in March. I'm studying at
Okay.
the University of Wolverhampton, and the first 3 months when I came down, I was learning CV writing as my careers departments in school. And this is something many people don't know. Many people don't know what is in school. And I'm also currently working as a school rep in my university, a paid job. So these are opportunities that many people don't know because they are out there chasing care work, chasing warehouse work. So yeah. So thank you very, very much for this update. Thank you. I really appreciate you. But my question is, how did you go about this? So can you just take me through that your talent visa, your global talent visa once more? Kind of like how did you get the global talent visa? Thank you.
Okay. How I got the Global Talent Visa was through the job that I have. Okay. So, like I explained before, uh, some of these jobs are through the KTP. The job I am doing currently is under the KTP job, but not all KTP jobs will give you a Global Talent Visa. I just need to stress that. But most KTP jobs would give you a sponsored visa. Most KTP jobs will give you a sponsored visa. So for me, I was able to get the Global Talent Visa because of the nature of the job, and my project qualified me to do that because I was doing something that fell under academia and research. And my project was funded to the tune of above 30,000. And the tenure of my project was going to be more than 2 years, and some other conditions that I met because of that job. So based on that, I was able to get the required documents that I needed to apply from my host institution, and I made the application. So if you are familiar with the Global Talent Visa, you would know that there are various ways to go about it. But for this one I did is under research and academia. And it has its own criteria also, which the nature of job I got and some of these things I have just explained to you ticked the boxes for me. And that's why I was able to apply for it. I don't know if I have answered you.
Thank you very much. Yes, you have.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Joma, for the insightful session. I am a community and public health nutritionist, and I have over a decade experience before leaving Nigeria. And just like your husband, I am a dependent as well. But when I got to the UK, I discovered that their public health sector is clinical, sort of. The preventive aspect of it is not existing. And this has been a kind of a challenge for me, which I have been trying to look at way out of the box. But fortunately, when I saw uh, a friend of mine actually sent the link of this session to me, and immediately I saw nutrition and whatever there, I keyed in. But my question now is this: with all the sites that have been shared, I've been trying to actually look through. It seems as if there tends towards IT and project management, so to say. Now I want to ask, from my background as a community and public health nutritionist, is there a chance with either the civil service, the PWD, and the KTP? Is there a opportunity for people that has a kind of preventive care experience or community and public health nutrition like mine? Thank you.
Yes, so I believe that there should be. If you did you see, if you look at that link on the KTPs, because usually they publish several jobs, okay, on that site, and I know that I have seen things along the lines of nutrition. And you know the way this thing works, you are the one that knows your experience. Okay, you are the one, um, you know your experience. So if you look at the job description, there has to be a way that you're either in it or you're not in it. I don't know if you're getting my point, but I know that with your experience, you would definitely find something. You should definitely find something under NHS. You should definitely find something under KTP if they begin to share things along the lines for nutrition. And you know that nobody can tell you the job that you have done. You are the one who knows your experience. So you can always tailor your resume um, to match the requirements of that job. So the most important thing is how can you defend that experience that you said that you have? Because if you already have experience of nutrition, sorry, did you say you have, did you say you have a PhD or an MSc?
Yes, I have I have my PhD in community and public health nutrition.
Okay. So yeah, so I think that with what you have, really, you should be able to get a job in that. If you look at the job description for something, I think it would be good to just look at it, see if there is something under nutrition, but it's just not a one-off checking. You just have to keep checking those things because different institutions will host their jobs there. So if you don't see a job now, something might come up for you in another month's time. So it's good that you look at those things to see, okay, this is my experience. Is it possible for me to do this job? Can I do this job based on what the requirements are? And the beautiful thing about the knowledge transfer partnership roles is you are working with a knowledge partner, and that is the university. So the university does not really require you to have all the knowledge. So that is the reason why they're there. You, as the associate, you're more like the conduit pipe to who they will flow this knowledge through to support the company. So even if you think that your work experience doesn't directly relate to that role, but you have some experience there, and you're lucky to be, called for the interview, and you're able to defend what you know during the interview and you're for the job. The gaps that you have is what you can actually get trained for, because in my role, I have a budget of almost £4,000 or thereabout for training. So I can decide if I feel that I have a gap in knowledge in any area at all in my work, I would just go for a training and they will pay for it. So I think that if you have PhD, I think you would need to, look at some of those opportunities and see if they have something under nutrition that you can tailor your CV to and apply. Yeah, so I think you shouldn't give up on that. I don't know if I've answered your question. But if you would, yeah. I don't know if I answered your question. Doctor, Dr. Raymond.
Yeah,
Okay, so while we're, yeah,
to an extent, I think I will link up after the class.
yeah, okay.
Okay.
You,
Yeah,
you
I
said
have.
you said to an extent. Is there something I didn't address?
Not quite. No, not really. Not really. Because I've not actually searched the job
Okay,
offer in the KTP, but I believe because I could see food science and whatever there. So probably when I'm done with my search, I should be able to.
okay,
I will definitely reach out to you.
okay, no problem.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much for this wonderful information. Sorry, I don't know if you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, yeah. I really appreciate, the time and the knowledge so far. It's worth it, Yes, I have a kind of question,
Okay.
and my question is, for someone who is a student,
Yeah.
okay, there's a September badge, like you still have a long way to go till maybe August or September next year. And then,
Okay.
so the question goes like this: when is the right time?
Mm.
When is the right time for this person to start making this application, considering that it is a tier 2 job offer and
Yeah.
you have a limited time after your graduation? I think from the visa, it should be probably 3 or 4 months that you are meant to stay, because I think most of us that came in with student visa starting from September, I think we have till December 2024. That's what is written on the
Yeah.
BRP. So if it is the same with other people, I'm just saying based on my own.
Okay.
So, and
Yeah.
from what I've gathered, I think the school can be able to clear you, or kind of giving a letter that you are done if you have passed your courses and meet up with other requirements from the school, maybe from September. Now, knowing that you have from this September to December, a period of 4 months, what is the right time for us to start making this application? Because I think that is the one of the reasons that makes most of us, even before this update, have already making plans that I will make swift movement to clear home, because that is what I'm thinking. But to frankly speaking, it is not a job that I can strongly or boldly say that I want to do for the next 5 years, honestly.
Yeah.
So that's
So,
why.
all right. Thanks for your question. I want to start by asking, what does your dependent do? What's her experience?
My dependent.
Yeah.
Okay, I think she's working in care.
Okay, she's working in care, but does she have any experience from before she came here?
No.
Okay, she doesn't have. So that means it will still, you have to do all that. So, like, one way that people can look at this, if you're the student and your dependent has the time and has some experience, your dependent and also maybe has masters or doesn't even have masters, because if you don't have masters, there are opportunities on NHS platform that you can take advantage of, because NHS does not really require you to have a postgraduate degree. But if you have experience from back home, there are some jobs that you can apply there and get sponsored. But now in your case, um, you will be rounding up in September and you have about 4 months. And I think if you ask me, 4 months is more than enough time. If if you're really ready to put in the work to turn around your story. Yeah. But
Yeah.
talking about the right time, I would say that the right time would be in that if you're sure that you have passed all your required courses, you don't have any receipts or repeating
Yeah.
anything, it would be good to start maybe by that September, even though to take the school, like, okay, in my case, I rounded up in October and I got my results in December. By December, I think everything was ready for me. So let's say about 2, 3 months. Then I had till February to change. My visa was to expire in February. Yeah, so I think the best thing is if you round it up, you can just start applying, because there is still time between you don't determine when you're called for the interview. Yeah, you're not the one to determine, it's the organization that determines when they want to schedule you for interview. So if you've rounded up, you can start making your applications with the hope that, before everything is tidied up, maybe the school would have sorted out your documentation and all that. So that's what my advice would be. once you're through that, you've cleared all your papers, and it's just remaining the school to give you your final grades, or maybe you have seen your final grade, you're sure that you're not owing the school anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, then you can start, throwing in the applications. But in the event that for people who have dependents with experience, my advice would be that the dependents should really put in the work, because that was what my husband did. So when we got here, he was able to get the job with the bank, and the bank incidentally should sponsor, but for some reason it just didn't work. So, we just need to see that anybody can really get the sponsored jobs, should work towards it. That would be my advice. Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to mention the importance of getting some experience? You remember you worked with the university, you looked out for jobs within the university.
Oh, yes. Yeah. So to the person that asked that question, please, it's really important. While you're studying now, are there jobs in school that you can take advantage of, part-time jobs that you're doing?
Is it me?
Hello? Yeah. So in your school, are there some jobs that you can take up? Because it's also very important, to try to do something professional, not care. I did a bit of care while I was studying, but care was never on my CV when I started applying for this job. That's what I'm trying to say. So if you find part-time jobs in school, it will be good
Yeah.
to take up those jobs, because it does help, you know. Even if it's not in school, if you're able to take up any other thing that you can, put on your resume, so that
Yeah.
your resume is not just blank all through your study up until when you start looking for jobs. Though even on that one, there's still a way around it, but I would generally advise, if you're able, just try to do something to
Okay.
give yourself some UK experience. Yes, if you're not planning to continue with care.
Yeah.
So we have one more question before we wrap up. It's already
Okay.
time. Yeah. Henry, go ahead.
Henry?
Henry,
Okay.
there's
No,
someone raising their hand.
Hi, Uche. Hi, Chama.
okay.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Go ahead.
Yeah, sure, we can hear you.
All right. I joined in from Nigeria. So I really appreciate you guys sharing this knowledge with us. It's absolutely priceless. So I'm currently working as a tech support engineer with BFP Tech in Lagos, Nigeria. And I have a master's in information technology. So my question is regarding the KTP route. Please correct me if I'm wrong. It
Yeah.
is something in line of secure an admission in a university. The university assigns you to an organization for a stipulated duration. So where do
No,
I get my employer to
No,
write on my bill?
that's
I'm
not
missing it.
no.
No, that's okay. Choma, go ahead, clarify.
All right.
Yeah, so you're not getting an admission in a university. And Henry, you should actually be targeting these KTP roles with your experience. So you're not getting an admission in a university. You're applying to jobs, and it is the university that hires you to work in these companies. So it's not an admission, it's a job. Hello?
Okay. I heard you.
Yeah.
If I get
Yeah,
you
it's not an admission.
correctly, I'm applying to the job then assigns me to a university.
No. No. So wait here at the beginning. So those jobs, those are jobs that the university and the company are in a kind of partnership. So they would advertise these jobs that you would apply to. And if you are called for the interviews, you would and you succeed, you start working. But the way it is that the university hires you, you're under you're an employee of the university, but you're going to be working, implementing a project for the company.
Okay, I
So
get you.
if I put it in this way, you have two employers. Let me put it that way. You have two employers, but your first employer is the university, because they are the ones who will I say who would give you a sponsorship, who would sponsor you for that job.
Okay,
But you're going to be implementing
a
a
project for the
project with a
company.
company that the
So,
university is in partnership with.
okay,
Okay,
so
this is
Henry,
very
I would
interesting.
say I would suggest you
I
target
hope I'm not
both
confusing.
NHS, yeah. So both NHS and KTP as well.
Yes, I will.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. Our time is up, but we have two hands. We have Benedict and okay, Benedict, go ahead then. Azuka, and that will be the final one, and we wrap up.
No, there's actually a question on the chat from someone. Maybe I should just quickly answer it, then Benedict would come in. So Michael dropped a question here. I don't know if he's still here. He said, as a dependent without any of this opportunity, either master's or PhD and no experience, how can one who is interested go about the university and civil service sponsorship? That's going to be a tough one. What does he mean by no experience? If he's here in the call, maybe when Benedict and Azuka, he can explain himself. He needs to have some experience to work here.
Okay, even without hearing from him or her or him, sorry. I know what some people have done. They've actually upskilled.
Yeah.
They've, when they came in here, they decided to acquire new skills. If your mind is open and you're open to upskilling, there are training outfit that you can upskill, learn, say, data analytics, business analysis, product management, project management, and some of these organizations, while you're being trained with them, they put you in real life projects and you work and acquire some experience. And they would also provide reference for you as having worked, with them in the UK. So that gives you the training, that gives you the reference and UK experience that you can use to now target these other roles. Does that answer your question? I hope it does. As for Michael, so they can
I hope he's still
upskill.
on the call though. Yeah.
Yeah. So you can upskill and get some of these skills, which you can now use to start applying, target the civil service, NHS, and the other roles. So Benedict and Azuka, and one of you should go, and after that we wrap up the call.
You need to unmute him. He said he should. Can you unmute Benedict? He said you should unmute him.
Okay, let me see. You mean Benedict? Ask to unmute. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've asked Benedict to unmute. He should go ahead and unmute.
Okay, someone is asking a question about. Okay.
Yeah, Michael says yes, it does. Thank you. I would Benedict Azuka. Okay.
Okay, I'm here. I was
While
waiting for
we're
Benedict
waiting
to
for
talk.
Benedict.
Okay, can you hear me?
Okay.
Yes. Okay. So,
Yes, we can.
as regards my case, I'm here in the UK as a dependent. Okay, I've been here for roughly 1 year, and then within this period, I've been able to scale in the field of business analysis. My background, I have a first degree and a second degree in chemistry. But with the plan of coming into the UK, I was intentional about switching into tech. So I've been able to gather some years of few years of experience in that. And at least based on what you've
Okay.
just explained, it's something that has caught my interest because it's something I've struggled with, trying to navigate through the
Yeah.
job application processes sometimes and tailoring your cover letters and co. Sometimes because I understand applying for jobs is a job on its own. And sometimes it could be very
It's
discouraging
a job.
Very
and
true. Very true.
challenging. Yes.
It's a
So
job, my darling. It's a job.
yes. Okay, so based on what you've just explained, it caught my
Yeah.
fantasy, and I believe it's something I'll be interested in. But I just want to find out, like, from the slide,
Yeah.
you've just explained that it's a 3-session plan, right? So just want to confirm what's the structure of the 3 sessions. That's the first question. And then you also made mention of allowing instrumental payment. So what will be the structure of that instrumental payment as well?
Yeah.
And then lastly, beyond the career session, because I understand after the 3 sessions, what else do we stand to benefit? Because yes, there are cases whereby once you are done with the sessions with maybe a career coach, sometimes the career coaches are never available afterwards. So beyond these 3 sessions, what do we stand to gain? Because I know it could be a timeline, it could be within a month or a few weeks or whatever it is. But after then, what else do we stand to benefit? How do we still keep that communication with you? Because again, is in this journey, relationship is important. The first part of it might not really give you that desired result,
Yeah.
but you realize that as you build on that journey, on that relationship, then the results begin to reflect gradually.
Yeah. Uche, do you want to take before Uche and speaks on it, okay? I want to even say something, Azuka. You have experience in chemistry, and if you you said you're building into tech. Are you dropping chemistry? Because even in chemistry, you might even have some opportunities in KTP, because I think I've said one or two things at some point in chemistry. Are you moving to tech because of job, or are you leaving something you're interested in because of I don't know, or you're happy to continue with tech now?
Yeah, okay. So for me, I think after I finished school, I tilted into the commercial aspect of my career. So I wasn't really practicing maybe the laboratory aspect or the practical aspect of chemistry. I switched into business development in the downstream. So I had built some commercial experience. So that gradually tilted me away from the research aspect of chemistry. And so having spent years of experience in business management, stakeholders engagement, I actually looked at what aspect of tech do I think would be easy for me to transit into without having to struggle, which was why I chose the business analysis role. So that's why.
Yeah.
So if again going back to chemistry, it's an opportunity I'm open to, but then life evolves.
Okay, it's fine. Your experience is very good to get the good opportunity. See, you have business development experience and those backgrounds. Yeah. So Uche, do you want to take the question, or you want me to take the question? Answer his question.
I think you go ahead. If you miss anything, I'll answer. Yeah.
All right. So he asked about what after the sessions. Yeah, definitely after the sessions, it's not like we will just throw you away and allow you to continue hustling on your own. We're still going to be having like follow-up, from time to time, checking to see what's going on. Are you really following the plan? Are you following some of the things that we have, shared with you, and where you're having your challenges? The whole idea, our joy is that you should eventually be able to at least start getting these interviews, So it's not just about, talking to you and moving on, and you're not able to achieve why you came to us, because it gives us joy. Our joy is made full that we worked with you and you delivered. But also, I would also want to say that it is a two-way work. So we share with you what gives this result, but you also have to put in the work. And I'm happy that you understand, at least in all the time I've been talking to people, there are very few people that understand that looking for job is a job, and you used that term, because that's what we believe. We believe that looking for job, it's a full-time job on its own. So if you have that mindset, I'm sure that you will definitely get something in no distant time. So you talked about the installment. I think those other questions, it would be good if you can, send us a mail that we can discuss the payment if you want to see your payment. I don't know your answer or your question. Something I'm missing.
Well, okay,
Yes.
that's fine.